Okay, it's another exciting Wednesday with another exciting stylist story. And today's is super exciting and special because you are going to get to hear from someone I have loved getting to know over the last few years so much. Her name is Mackenzie Holik. She is an incredible stylist and leader from San Angelo, Texas. And if you don't know where that is, I do, because I went to see her and it's very small. Mackenzie, where is it exactly?
So if you put a dot right in the center of Texas and go about, I don't know, 60 miles west, that's me.
Kind of in the middle of the desert is what it feels like.
Yeah, middle of the oil field desert. That's where I live.
So what I love about your story, we'll get into more about that in a second, but well, I love many things, but one of the things I love is that you have run and you continue to run an incredibly successful business in this. What's the population of San Angelo?
We're getting close to about 100,000. That's our.
Okay, so I think we can call that a smallish area because it's not like it's 100,000 and then there's another 100,000 next door. It's like, how far to the next closest place?
At least an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Right. So you're literally 100,000, pretty isolated. So, and yet it hasn't stopped you one bit. And so if you were watching this and you're like in a similar situation or not, this will be interesting to you. But before we get started with Mackenzie, let me introduce myself, give you a few details. My name is Danielle Redner. I am the Chief Inspirational Officer at Stella. Yes, that's a thing. I am so lucky to have such a cool job because what I get to do is basically hold a mirror up to great people like this all day long and help find new people like this all day long. And there's lots of them, and it might even be you. So we always like to come on here every Wednesday, just chat a little bit about what it's like to be a Stella stylist with a side hustle. Everybody's story is a little bit different. Some people work this to make a couple $100s a month so that you can do that little extra or save up for something or pay that bill. And others do it to earn several $1,000s a month. It just depends on what you want. So we'll talk to Mackenzie more about that in a second. But we also like to give away free style. And you will see that we are all wearing some of our new stuff. And so if you hashtag SD4all and tag 2 friends in the comments below, we are going to give away a $250 shopping spree at the end of this webinar. So you might as well do that because you got to be into it. So, all right, without any further ado, I don't want you to see me. I want you to see this awesome woman. Mackenzie, tell us a little bit just about you, where you're from, the family, all that kind of stuff, your background, and then why did you decide to try being a stylist?
Yeah, so again, my name is Mackenzie Holik. I live in San Angelo, Texas. And I was born and raised here. I haven't left. I have 2 daughters. I married my high school sweetheart. And our daughters' names are Julianne and Blair. They're 6 and 4. So I am very, very busy raising them and just trying to keep them from butting heads 100% of the time. And I am a former teacher. I have 2 degrees from our university here in San Angelo called Angelo State University. Go Rams. And I taught English, high school English, to seniors for 3 years, and I absolutely loved what I did. I miss my students like crazy, and I do miss teaching. But the reason why I chose to stay home was because as my daughters were getting a little bit older, we chose for me to stay home and raise them while my husband went to work. He's a physical therapist. But about a year and a half into that whole new stay-at-home mom gig, our mortgage increased by $500 in January of 2016. And while we were kind of scraping by and making it, we definitely didn't have that extra $500 to put into a huge bill every month. And being a teacher, it's really hard to find a job at the beginning of a year. Usually jobs start in August. So I chose to pick up this side gig. Just so you know, I had never owned a piece of Stella & Dot. I had never hosted a show. I had never even seen it in person. But my upline at the time was posting on social media all this gorgeous jewelry. I really wanted a Sutton necklace, and I thought, how bad could it be? So I hopped in with hopes of making $500 a month. I made that within 10 days of signing up. And by December of that year, I had doubled my previous teacher salary. So that's a little bit of my story and how I became now a full-time Stella & stylist. I absolutely love what I do alongside raising my kids.
All right, well, I think we're done now because that was pretty much everything. You're amazing. Okay, so teacher, $500 a month was the goal. You exceeded that pretty quickly. You said you had never seen the product before or been or anything. You just fell in love with the jewelry. Had you ever sold anything or had anything to do with fashion before?
Absolutely not. No, I have never done anything like this before. Like I said, I was a teacher. I was like all in on teaching too and loved what I did. And I do feel like a lot of my degree carries over into what I do now. And that's what I love so much about it. I have always, though, had an interest in fashion and beauty in general. I'm also a makeup artist. And so I just really always loved putting things together and finding things that coordinated. And for a short while, I owned an online baby boutique and sold baby clothes, basically to get my baby's clothes for a super cheap discount. But otherwise, absolutely no interest in selling anything in an MLM or anything like that. But here we are.
Okay, so how did you get started? I think people always, I love this whole thing. By the way, I did not know you had an online baby clothing business. So I learned something new today. So how did you, just explain for anyone that's listening, how you got started? Like, what did that look like? You said you made the $500 within 9 days, I think. So how did you do that? Like, what was key to that strong start if somebody wanted to do the same thing? And then how have you kept that going? Because I think one of the things that people think with a business like this is, okay, great, I'll sign up. I got a few friends and family that are going to like some product, but then what? So how has that evolved for you?
Totally. And that's a huge question for all new stylists is how do you get out of that first circle of friends and family? And for me, my mom was my first hostess. Looking back, I wish I would have hosted my own to start, but having my mom do that was great. And it was just an easy, accessible, I wanted to hit that first goal in that first 30 days. But right after my mom, I just jumped into this vulnerable moment because I knew that my why was bigger. I always say my why was bigger than my wine. And, I feel like I was whining about the fact that I had to pay $500 more every month in my mortgage. And so I used that to fuel me and change it into my why instead of my wine. And I immediately started reaching out to some people that I knew of, but I didn't necessarily know really well. So I knew of them, they knew of me. And my second hostess was a lady named Christy Brazier, and she's still, I text her every now and then when I hit big goals, and I'm like, you're the reason, like, thank you so much. She took a chance on me. She hosted my first real show outside of my friends and family. I was only about 3 weeks in. And from that show, I have had 12 hostesses from that show that originally attended her show and have now hosted for me over the 3.5 years that I've been a stylist. And so it really does take you just diving in and jumping into that vulnerable moment and feeling good about that and knowing that your why is bigger than maybe the fear that you may be feeling about asking somebody that you know of and don't necessarily know.
What I love about that story is that you're exactly right. It's that like connection to community that I think actually is a real competitive advantage at Stella too, because you just need to know one person. And then she's going to get such great rewards that she connects you to another circle of people, whether it sounds like in your case, that was a physical in-home styling and her friends came to her kitchen, but it could also have been online and an online event, or it could be through multiple one-on-one connections, but everybody's connecting you to other people. So is that really, even in a town of 100,000 people, is that how you've sustained that? And then I'd love to talk to you about how much of your business is online, how much is in person. What does that look like for somebody that might be wondering?
Yeah, totally. And it's absolutely what sustained my business. And still, I go to a trunk show. Every time I go to a trunk show, there's still somebody that has never heard of Stella & Dot, never tried it on. I put in as a brand new customer of mine, and I've been doing this in my tiny town for 3.5 years. So every time they say I've never heard of Stella & Dot, I'm like, dang it, I'm not doing my job well enough, because I want to make sure that every person that could possibly run around with people that I know knows that Stella & Dot exists and that I do what I do. So it's like that bittersweet moment. I'm like, oh yeah, you've never heard. Now I get to show you. But at the same time, like, what have I been doing the last 3.5 years? But yes, absolutely. I have met so many people that I never knew before I started Stella & Dot. And like Christy and I are now really good friends, even though I just kind of knew of her because her kids went where my kids went. And so it definitely is this kind of trickle down effect, this kind of like you expand your circle and you find more. And that's how this business works and why it keeps working day in and day out, month in and month out, year in and year out. I do have a heavy business in the in-home area because I am a mom. I love that outside time from the home. I want that adult time, have adult conversations and that kind of thing. So I do love the in-home style session, but I do heavily also throw in those online sessions. I have a couple of those a month, and I love meeting people outside of my area, outside of San Angelo, outside of Texas. And, you know, so I do a little bit of both, but I'm more heavy on the in-home style session side because I just find it really fun and relaxing for me as a mom.
Well, I love the combination though, too, especially for you, maybe even more into the future as you know, you get to know everybody in that 100. I know 100,000 people is still a lot, but like you get to know everybody, it'll take you to other areas. Okay, so what does I think the number 2 top questions I always get is like, how do I get into people I don't know? You've addressed that. But what do I do on a normal day? So like right now it's summer. What does a summer day for you look like with your business? And is that different than the rest of the year? Or just give us a like day in the life of a successful stylist.
Yes. Well, so our motto here at Stella is you do you. And I feel like that is such an impactful, empowering, and also just kind of a sigh of relief, a breath of relief, whatever, when it comes to being a stylist, because you really do get to work it your own way. And I wear multiple hats throughout the day. And the main hat that I wear that I take incredibly seriously is my mom hat. I have 2 young girls, and you guys know that raising girls, having girls, I mean, it's a very important job, and we want to just make sure that we're doing a great job raising them and that they become, you know, successful women and empowering women. So I take my mom hat very seriously, and that is absolutely my first priority. Under that, you know, is when I throw on my stylist hat when it works for me. And that's what I love about doing this business in the summer, is that my kids are home more and they do it with me. So yesterday I had my fall launch show here at my house, and they hosted it with me, and they were there the entire time, and they were showing people what they loved. And Julianne, my 6-year-old, even told one of my customers, I think these earrings are better for you than the others. You know, so I love that I get to incorporate them into my work life, so they get to see how I provide for them and how I provide for my family. And some days in the summer, I work less, and that's okay. That's the great thing and the beauty of Stella is that, you know, we consciously join a pool membership every summer because we want to go to the pool. And sometimes I go to the pool and I don't do a reach out at all, or I don't pick up a piece of jewelry, you know, and that's okay. And that's what I love about this business, is that you absolutely get to do you when it works for you. And you get to involve who you want to involve and make the impact that you want to make. So that's a little bit of how I do what I do.
I'm going to give you one out of left field for a second. So obviously it's like the earnings, because you've been able to I know you've been able to take your family on vacation and pay off some, you know, do that $500 a month bill. What are some of the other perks? I know you like the fashion. You look pretty cute. But like, are there other things that you love about being a stylist above and beyond the income?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the highlights of my career have been some of the things that I've been able to do because of the income, but the things that will last beyond paying off those bills are the connections I made. I met my very best friend, Kim Jensen, through this business. I don't know how I ever lived 27 years without her before I met her, because we literally talk multiple times a day. We live 1,000 miles away from each other, but she's one of the closest people to my heart. And I wouldn't have that had it not been for Stella and Dot. But more importantly, even than all of that, is the team that I've built and what I've helped other women do. And I've helped women buy a new house. I've helped women save for IVF and become pregnant a year later. I've been, you know, I don't take credit by any means at all, but it's really, really cool to be a piece of that journey and watch them be so happy and help them find their joy and shine. So absolutely the highlight of my career and this business in general. And if it all were to go away tomorrow, I would be so overjoyed with just the impact that being a stylist has made on my life and others.
Oh, love you. Right back at you. All right, quick, fun questions. What are you most excited about now? What's your favorite piece of product? Gotta ask that one right now. I have a feeling it'll be something pink. And then do you have like a favorite sort of highlight of your career that you want to share?
Yes. So my favorite piece right now, and my customer's favorite piece, is what I'm wearing. These are the Bell earrings, you guys. Obsessed. Okay. They have literally everything. They're classy. They're edgy. They're colorful. They have texture. They go with every single season. If you don't own these, grab them now. Okay. They're less than 50 too. So yes.
And then a matching necklace. Do you have that handy?
It's on my display, but there is a matching necklace. It's stunning. And everybody's loving it in the company. It's a company bestseller. It's a Mackenzie Holik bestseller. Plus, it's my fave. So just saying. My favorite S&D memory. Well, hello. She's like next to me on the screen, and she mentioned it earlier. Danielle surprised me in my tiny hometown. It took her 3 planes to get here, but who cares? She came to surprise me for a really fun little video we did, and it'll be on the Stella.YouTube page, so if you want to go check that out.
Yes.
Plus, there are some extra stylist stories you can check out that are so empowering and so inspiring. But that was absolutely a favorite S&D memory, and it was only happened 2 months ago, so I can't imagine what's going to happen in the future. And then a favorite moment for my customer. Early on in my career, I had a friend who was going through a really hard time, an illness in her family, and I was able to do a fundraiser show for her and give her over $6,000 in cash, plus a 4-digit shopping spree that she got to go on. It was a great little pick-me-up for her, and it was just one of those moments where I was like, this is more than a statement earring. This business is more than a necklace. This business changes lives.
Well, on that note, let me give you one last question. If somebody is watching this and they're thinking, okay, this might be fun, I might like to do it, but maybe I live in a big city instead of somewhere with 100,000 people, or even smaller. Maybe I live in a town of 10,000. Maybe I am older, younger, have a full-time job, don't have children, whatever. Like everybody, all different people, all different lifestyles, all different places, all different stages. Somebody who might be thinking about it, what would your advice be to someone who's wondering if it might be right for them?
My advice is that you will find lots and lots of reasons. You will tell yourself lots and lots of reasons why you shouldn't do it, but the one thing you should listen to is the one reason why you should. So think of whatever your why might be, and you might be scared to jump in, and that's absolutely okay. But you're going to jump into a huge community of women that has your back. And it's very, very hard to find a huge community of women that supports you, wants you to shine, cheers you on when you do well, picks you up when you don't. And I am telling you right now, the only thing that I regret in the last 3.5 years of being a stylist is not starting it sooner. It will change your life. It will make you be more fashionable. It'll make you more money. It'll just make you feel so much more confident. And so the one reason that you can find, all you need is one, that may be the reason why you want to jump in, go with that and start now. You'll be so much happier that you started now than finding the reasons why you shouldn't.
And at a very minimum, get some girlfriends together and get those earrings for free.
Oh, real. I mean, let's be honest. You can get this whole look for free. Yes.
The top, we should say, everything we are both wearing, including, by the way, this little lightning stud, which I'm all about, this little lightning stud. If you have multiple piercings, that's a winner. And everything Mackenzie's wearing, it's all Stella, it's all we wear. All right, she's the bomb, you're the bomb. Thank you for spending a little bit of time with us. Don't forget to hashtag SD for all, tag a couple friends below. And if you are interested in joining us, we didn't even talk about how cool our new kits are. You literally go and pick your favorite thing from all the top categories. That puts a look together for you for $149 US, $179 Canadian. It's like easy button bestsellers. Then you can pick out like some extra bundles that you want to add on, and you're like ready to go with your side hustle in no time. It doesn't take a lot of thought. You don't have to know our product. We've done it for you. And you're going to look cute while you do good things. So we'd love you to join us. If you know someone, please contact them. If you don't, go to stella.com. We will connect you with a mentor who's close to you, who has helped someone else start a side gig before, so that you know that you're in good hands and you'll have great support in that community that Mackenzie talks about. You might even meet your best friend. like she did. So thanks, Mackenzie, and thank you guys for joining us. Have a great night. Happy Wednesday. We hope we'll see you soon.
Bye.